Home isn't a fixed place. It's whatever ship you happen to be sailing on. Sleeping happens in swinging hammocks, stacked close together below deck. Privacy doesn't exist, neither does much personal space. There's no sunrise wake-up call, just a bell marking the start of your shift. Watches run around the clock, usually split into 4-hour shifts. Which watch you're on decides your whole schedule. And how much sleep you actually get. Washing up means salt water, if you bother at all. Lice, rats, and cockroaches are just part of shipboard life. Breakfast is hardtack, a biscuit tough enough to survive a shipwreck, washed down with watered rum. Hardtack often comes with weevils baked in. Most sailors just eat around them. Fresh food is a luxury. It disappears fast once you're weeks out at sea. Without fresh fruit, scurvy becomes a real threat. A disease nobody fully understood yet. Pirate ships ran more democratically than you'd expect. Major decisions often got put to a vote. Captains could be voted in, and just as easily voted out. But that democracy has limits. In battle, the captain's word is absolute. Every ship had its own code. Written rules the whole crew agreed to before setting sail. Joining a crew usually meant signing that code first, sometimes literally, with your name or mark. Some codes banned smoking below deck. Open flame near gunpowder was never a good combination. Lights out by a certain hour was common too. Fewer accidents, fewer late-night disputes. Fighting on board wasn't allowed. Grudges got settled on land instead, not at sea. Lose an arm or a leg in a fight? Some codes actually paid out extra compensation for it. The payout scaled with the injury. Lose a limb, get a bigger share of the next haul. Break the code badly enough and marooning was the ultimate punishment, left behind on a deserted spit of sand. The ship doesn't clean itself. Decks get scrubbed, sails get mended, and water gets pumped out below. Pumping the bilge water never really stops. Wooden ships always leak somewhere. Everyone has a job: carpenter, sailmaker, gunner. A ship this size doesn't run on luck. The youngest crew members often end up as powder monkeys, running gunpowder to the cannons mid-fight. It's one of the most dangerous jobs on the ship, and it usually goes to whoever's smallest and fastest. The carpenter might be the most valuable person on board. A hole in the hull ends everything fast. There's no formal doctor aboard most ships. Just whoever's steadiest with a blade and a bottle of rum for the pain. Rigging work means climbing, often high above a moving deck, in any weather. One bad grip up there, and there's no safety net waiting below. Sun, salt, and constant rope work wear down a body fast. Joint pain and sunburn are just part of the job. Every few months the ship gets beached and tipped over to scrape barnacles off the hull. It's called careening, and a slow, weighed-down ship is a dead ship in a chase. Meals are shared, and pirates often ate better than sailors serving in the Navy. Rum gets watered down into something called grog. Full-strength rum and dangerous decisions don't mix well at sea. When they can get it, turtle meat, fresh fish, and tropical fruit make it onto the table. Gambling, though. Banned on plenty of ships. Too many fights had already started over cards and dice. Music helps, too. A lot of ships kept a dedicated musician just for morale. Even a cat might have a job on board, so we're keeping the rat population from getting out of hand. Weapons get cleaned and checked constantly. You never know when they'll actually be needed. Pistols are often only good for one shot before reloading. After that, they double as a club. Cutlasses are short and heavy on purpose. Better for cramped fighting on a crowded deck. Then someone in the crow's nest yells the two words the whole crew's been waiting for. Sail, ho. Pirate ships are usually smaller and faster, built for catching things, not hauling cargo. Navigation relies on the stars, a compass, and careful math. One bad calculation, and you're lost. Sometimes a false flag goes up first just to get close enough without raising alarm. The Jolly Roger goes up. Most of the time, the flag alone does the negotiating. A warning shot across the bow is the next move if the flag alone doesn't work. Most targets surrender before a single shot is fired. Reputation is scarier than cannons. That reputation is often exaggerated on purpose. Fear works better than an actual fight. Before a boarding, the deck goes quiet. Everyone's running through what happens next in their head. The crew boards the captured ship, now officially called the prize, and the search begins. Captured crew members are usually given a choice: join up or be set adrift. Actual gold is rare. Most hauls are cloth, tools, medicine, food. Practical goods, not treasure chests. Whatever's found gets divided into shares, and not just for the captain. Everyone gets a cut. The quartermaster oversees the split and on most ships actually held more day-to-day power than the captain. Disputes over the split happen constantly. That's basically the quartermaster's whole job. Selling off stolen cargo means finding a port willing to look the other way. Reaching land means restocking water, trading for supplies, and finding a port that won't turn you in. Some towns exist almost entirely because of pirate business. Quiet arrangements, no questions asked. If the day goes well, it ends with music, drinking, and stories that get taller with every telling. Pirates are famously superstitious. Certain words, actions, and omens are considered very bad luck. Whistling on deck, for instance, is said to summon a storm. Nobody wants to test that. Women aboard were considered bad luck by plenty of superstitious crews, and yet women pirates were rare, but not unheard of. A few disguised themselves just to get aboard in the first place. Some sailors get tattoos too, small marks showing where they've actually been. But there's always a Navy ship out there somewhere, actively hunting you down. Bounties get placed on well-known captains, turning pirates into wanted men with a literal price tag. Storms are just as dangerous as any warship. Plenty of crews are lost to weather, not battle. Disease actually kills more sailors than combat ever does, and a bad captain risks something just as dangerous as the Navy, his own crew. Mutiny is always a possibility. Democracy cuts both ways. Months can pass without any word from family back home. For a lot of crew members, the ship becomes the only family they've really got left. The average pirate career lasted just 2 to 3 years before capture, death, or retirement. And walking the plank? That's mostly Hollywood. Real pirates rarely bothered with the theatrics. Buried treasure maps? Also mostly fiction. Spending the money quickly was way more common. Parrots on the shoulder make for a nice legend, but they weren't exactly standard equipment. Even the eye patch might not mean what you think. Some historians believe it helped eyes adjust faster between light and dark below deck. Most pirates weren't the swashbuckling heroes of the movies. They were desperate men looking for a way out. For some, this life was the only real alternative to poverty. The Navy's brutal discipline, or worse. Hard, short, dangerous. But for a couple of years, it was freedom nobody else on the water really had.